It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch. Yeah, I said,
Good morning, day before Thanksgiving. Although, have you seen the commercial appeal today? Anybody get the print edition of the commercial appeal? I'm the only guy, right? I'm a dinosaur.
My parents get it.
I get it digitally, and I get it in print. So help me God, look at this. What does that say, J-Mo, or Bryant, who's in there as well?
Is that the Nash better on and off the court? Is that what I'm looking at?
No, you're looking at the date. Look at the date.
Oh, Happy Thanksgiving,
today,
Dave.
The newspaper says Thursday, November 24th, which tells me they're not making a print edition tomorrow, and so they decided to make today tomorrow. Is that like crazy?
So are you having an early Thanksgiving dinner then? Because the commercial appeal tells you it's Thanksgiving today.
Today's Wednesday. It's not Thursday, CA. Crazy. It made me laugh like crazy. It did. Speaking of crazy, what a Grizzlies game last night. I mean, both teams played the stupidest basketball that I think I've seen. No defense by the Grizzlies early. Now, the last 7 minutes of the game, they poured it on. They got back in the game. Ja Morant's got a chance to tie the game in basically no time left. And he misses the first free throw. Makes the second, and then tries to hit the rim. Good call. Unfortunately, he took off too early. They caught it. Replay show it was right. Grizz lose.
Right after he was talking to De'Aaron Fox on his previous free throws, trying to get in his head to make him miss it, and then he didn't miss any.
No.
Or it was Malik Monk, not De'Aaron Fox. It was Malik Monk he was trying to get in his head.
But Ja, I hate to say it, is not a clutch free throw shooter. He may be a clutch player, but he is not a clutch free throw shooter. What is his – go to his statistics real quick. What is his free throw percentage this year?
Bryant says 77%. I'm double-checking that right now.
And then let's go career. Because it's decent but not great.
It's 77 this year and 77 for his career.
Wow. So that's not terrible. But now they have a category, clutch free throws. What's your percentage of clutch time? And I'm going to tell you it isn't good. It isn't 77%. I don't know if you can find that. But anyway, he himself said you got to learn lessons from it. The guy had 34 points. He was brilliant. Dylan Brooks. Have you ever seen a guy take more shots than that dude even when he misses?
He certainly does.
I admire the way he plays defense, but I wish he would share the ball just a little bit more. In the end, they shot 63%. That was okay field goal. You know what they shot from the free throw line? It was not good. They were on threes, 8 of 30, 27%. I think their free throw was 60%, 63%. They shot 43% field goal. 63% from the line. I mean, that's what cost them the game. Ja missing those free throws, those. Also, terrible three-point defense. They couldn't shoot them. They couldn't defend them. 15-8 differential in threes. That's 7. That's 21 points right there. And I don't know. What do you do about Steven Adams? Because Steven Adams is so critical. He defends the best he can. He rebounded 16 rebounds last night. He's a great screen setter. But you realize that if you're involved in the action of screening for a player, you can foul Steven Adams. And he goes to the line if you have more than 5 fouls. So Steven Adams was 1 of 4 last night. He was 1 of 8 the game before that. He's 2 of 12 in his last 12 free throw attempts. I cringe when he gets fouled. I think he doesn't. I honestly think at this point, he gets the ball and he doesn't even look for offense because he wants to get rid of it so he doesn't get fouled, so he doesn't have to go to the free throw line. And he's really a good actor because once he's on the line, he looks very confident. He never looks pissed or shaken when he misses a free throw. But my God, I'm telling you, the guy is giving the ball up because he doesn't want to go to the free throw line.
It certainly does seem that way. I just found John Morant's clutch free throw shooting numbers, his free throw percentage. It's 64% in clutch free throws.
So that's
this season.
13% below what his normal is.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in terms of Steven Adams, I am upset in general about Steven Adams' play. Not that he's playing bad, but last year we marveled at the way he facilitated offense, passing the ball, giving it to guys. They ran the offense to him at the elbow. And this year, because of so many young guys, a little bit maybe lower cumulative basketball IQ as a team, it takes away one of the best parts of his game. They can't run that style, and I wish they could get him more involved, but I understand why he's not. And then at the end of the game, like you said, we can't have him go to the free throw line.
No, you can't have him in the game because if he's going to set a screen for you, they're going to foul him. And that's what Mike Brown did. Mike Brown's a good coach. You know that?
Oh, such a good coach.
He really is. He's got 7 in a row for Sacramento.
That's right.
They got a decent team.
9 of 10. 9 of 11, too.
He's turned them around. And pretty much with a lot of the same guys. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is really a good player. Sabonis. Here's the great thing about Sabonis. They've got Sabonis playing Steven Adams. He's not even looking to shoot like he used to with Indy. I'm impressed with Mike Brown quite a bit. So that's the Grizzlies story. We got so much to touch on. I'll tell you, I saw a game last night that was an Elite Eight NCAA basketball type game. Now, I know you were watching the Grizzlies, but I was going back and forth because I was captivated. I was into it. It was Creighton and Arkansas. I don't know if you've seen the highlights, but I'm going to tell you right now, that could have been a Final Four game. Creighton is good enough to be a Final Four team and maybe a championship team. They got all the pieces. They might not have the depth. I would say their 8th guy is probably Mike Miller's son. But they got the big guy. They got the point guard. They got the shooter/forward. That's probably, Bill said last night he's going to be an NBA guy. They got it all. Nemhard's the point guard. Shireman is the NBA forward. I guess he's like 6'8", 6'9", big guy.
6'7".
6'7". And then give me the big guy's name.
Kalkbrenner.
7'1". What? 7'1", who's mobile and coordinated. He had a reverse dunk last night with 2 guys on him. Made a great catch to get it. I don't know how many blocks did he have in that game.
I don't have the box here. Let me look.
I bet you had 4 or 5 blocks. He was amazing.
Oh, it says he only had 2, but he also had a steal, and he got his hands. It looks like a few other deflection numbers on here as well.
He was phenomenal. They got another guy named Alexander. They got a Kulo, something like that, who's an athletic forward.
Kaluma.
I'm telling you, that team is great. How many minutes did Miller play? I saw him in the first half. I don't think he got in the second half because it was such a close game.
Yeah, he only played 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
It looks like they only play, like you said, just 6 guys. Yeah. Miller was the 7th most minutes on the team.
That's going to be the problem for that team is they're going to struggle with depth. But they've got the pieces in those first 6, if Miller comes along, first 7 guys, to really make deep run in the NCAA tournament. Arkansas is great. Kid Black, the kid that transferred from Wichita, Ricky Council IV. He came in, he was heralded. I thought he was the most overrated guy, but he looks pretty good in an Arkansas uniform.
And then the kid Walsh, the freshman that has alopecia.
Well,
I saw him play the other day. He was really good.
He's great. And so is Prinz, the shooter. If you leave him open, especially at the top of the key, he'll burn you. He's got a sweet-looking shot. It was one of the better college games I've seen in a while. It was really, really good last night. We're going to get into this with Brett Norsworthy, who will join us in his usual spot here in about 15 18 minutes. Lane Kiffin addressed his team yesterday about the rumors that he is taking the Auburn job. So what he told his players, to the best of my knowledge, and Brett, who's an insider, may have more insight. He said, I have not signed to go anywhere. But I don't think he said, I'm not going to sign to go anywhere. So he said he hasn't committed anywhere else. So we got to concentrate on this game. But he didn't say he wasn't going to leave. Now, is it fair of us to assume he's got to say that? Is it fair before a game to really give the guy the fifth degree about it? I think to a certain extent, if he's coming out there and saying, well, I got 3 contracts, when are you happy? Do I have to get a 4th? I think it's real simple. If he wanted to totally take it out, and he could probably lie afterwards because other coaches have done that, but he could have said to the media, I don't know what he said to the team. He could have said to the media, guys, I've got it great here at Ole Miss. I'm not leaving. I am not taking the Auburn job. Then if he says that and he goes somewhere else, that's a different story. Because the thing that we're all addressing at this moment is he going to go to Auburn?
It seems like his biggest objection also is that they still have 2 football games to play, whether with this Egg Bowl and then another game. I think he's tried, even if he is talking to him, which if a journalist gets that information and reports it, that's totally fair game.
There have been a lot of reports that both he and Freeze have absolutely interviewed for the job.
Talk to him. But I think he is most upset that he is trying to do it the right way. You know what I mean? I'm all in on this season,
Right.
this next game.
Well, I think part of it's the system. Because you're saying 2 games, forget that. It's not 2 games. He's not in the championship game. He would have coached in that.
That's right.
He's going to coach in the Egg Bowl. But if he's leaving for another job, with the way the NIL money thing is, with the way the transfer portal works, with the way that signing day is the first Wednesday, I think it is, in February, I mean, you can't mess around. You got to take the job, and you got to start recruiting, and you got to start raising money for NIL because nobody's doing that for you. The coach has got to do that. And so you're not going to coach in a bowl game. There's not been – name a coach who's taken another job that's coached in a bowl game, which is why the whole system is totally flawed.
He might coach the other team in the bowl game.
Here's my thing. If I were the czar of the NCAA, you're not going to stop coaches from leaving. They're going to move up. That's the way it is. But you can stop by rule when you can hire a new coach. And if you say you cannot hire a new coach until the completion of the football season, which is, and you give the date as the championship game, when they play the college football playoff championship game, you can't move.
Like NBA free agency.
You got to keep your job until then.
Like NBA free agency or a signing period for kids in college.
Sure. That doesn't mean you're not going to make deals and talk off, but you're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to work for the other school.
That's right.
Everybody's on the same page, so nobody gets an advantage, except for maybe those that are keeping their job because they're going to continue to recruit. But, that's the only fair way for the players that are on a particular team. When Memphis has lost head coaches, Fuente and Norvell, for bowl games, it was different. It was not good. Daryl Dickey, we know, is a good coach. Well, I think it was the Birmingham Bowl. Memphis, they were never in the game. They didn't care about the game because their coach had left. Fuente had gone. I'm not saying that was the case with the Cotton Bowl, but I do think it would have been a little different had Norvell been there. That's the first game Ryan Silverfield was ever a head coach.
What do you think about the reporting? Like you said, they could still make these deals. Isn't the report the big distraction here, kind of, or is it the fact that he had that interview, allegedly interview with Auburn?
Well,
because the report kind of got all this going, too.
So that would be part of the system is you're not interviewing people till the season's over.
That's right. But, maybe you could have a steak dinner with John Cohen or something like that.
And you know what? If that's a major problem with recruiting, move the February 1st date. Either move it later or move it up. And, the problem then is if you lose your coach, can you go?
Recruiting is a very interesting point in all this, though, because if you remember last year, Lane Kiffin did not recruit incoming freshmen. He was the king of the transfer portal. And if you look at all these sites that do all this stuff this year, he's kind of not recruiting again. Now, maybe his whole strategy now is I'm the transfer portal king, but he was rumored maybe to get the Miami job last year, but Cristobal was the first guy went out there. They went after Cristobal. So this is kind of 2 years.
He might get that Miami job again.
Well, he might get that Miami job, that's true. But that's kind of 2 years now. I mean, maybe that's unfair, and again, we can talk to Brett about it. He's the insider. Maybe he just wants to be that transfer portal guy that's working in basketball for some schools. But it is an interesting factor in all this. He really hasn't recruited in 2 years.
I think you've got to have a mix now. Just because of age and experience, you've got to have a mix of freshmen coming in that are really good players and portal guys that have turned out to be pretty good. Unfortunately, for Group of 5 schools, you're going to have some guy who's been a really good offensive lineman for you, who's going to get NIL money, big money, from some Power 5 school, and he may be a backup there. But he's going to make his money hoping to beat out a guy to get more exposure to go to the NFL.
You're right. It's the new system that we live in.
It's crazy. It truly is. Speaking of crazy, we've got our inane things that coaches and players say in the NFL after week number 11. I will let you know I'm in the Family Leisure studio, and that Relax at Home sale's coming to an end soon. Get your massage chair, get your home theater seating, get great deals on pool tables or on shuffleboard. Saunas, hot tubs, patio furniture, all part of this deal. You want people to come. Hey, they're coming tomorrow to your house. You want them to relax. You want it to be nice. You maybe have some games like those pool tables to play with. You got to get to I-40 and Wooden Road. That's where Family Leisure and the Relax at Home sale is still going on. And our title sponsor, it's Homer Skelton Hunting. I'm going to go visit with them next week. I'm going to find out the latest, but they've already got this great deal on financing. I love this. If you go and pick up a new Hyundai Santa Fe or a Veloster or a Tucson or any new Hyundai product, which in my opinion is the best, pick up your car right at the corner of Craft Road on Highway 78. Pick up your car. Don't worry about paying for 90 days. You got 3 months to just relax, drive, and then you'll pay. No one's doing that except for the folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. So every week, except for the last couple of weeks, because his computer was down. You got your new computer, huh,
Got a
J-Mo?
new computer, got it rolling.
Was this faster with your new computer to do?
I don't know if it was faster, but if this computer can run now. It's big, it's a high-powered guy.
The big new technology in this thing?
That's right.
Okay. This begins with Sean McDermott.
Your boy,
so you know.
Your guy Matt Eberflus is a star this week.
Oh, really?
He's a big, and Nick Sirianni kind of takes the cake at the end.
And it kind of ends with Nick Sirianni. So here are the crazy things coaches and players will say.
All right, glory to God, man. It's good to come out here and get a win.
It wasn't what you draw up or anything like that, but this league, it rarely is, and it's tough sledding.
I appreciate the effort. We just need a few more plays, particularly in weighty moments and situational circumstances.
November comes, and sometimes you can get hit in the mouth. This league has a way of humbling any football team at any point in time if you don't play good football.
As an offense, though, I mean, when you guys are only able to score 3 points, the defense only lets up 3 points. I mean, do you feel like you let the defense down at all?
No.
What was it Taylor has shown you to lead you to this decision?
Winning.
7 possessions, only 2 total yards.
It was dog.
Can you recall a game in your experience where it ended like that in the final minute, where offense wasn't happening?
Nope, not off the top of my head. My memory's not that good.
We always look at the good and the bad in every game because there are good and bad in every game.
Every time you're moving the ball towards the goal line, it's good. When you're going backwards for whatever reason, it's not.
When, their ears are pinned back and they know what's coming, it's going to be tough. It doesn't matter who it is.
I threw a lot of kind of wobblers tonight.
You're thinking you're probably going to need to have a couple, chunkers in there at some point.
JPP caught it, He claimed, he said, I've always had great hands,
I think we win and lose as a team. and that's the truth.
When you take a man's legs away from him, you stop him where he stands.
I mean, what do you expect me to say right now? We just got beat. Now, if there was something that we should have done right away, we would have done that right away. Where we are with our football team, we're searching for answers is what we're doing.
You know you're going to hit hard times, and so, we've learned from them. We hadn't let them bury us.
And understanding that, hey, these are some challenging times, but you can't jump off the roller coaster. You got to be able to stay on track.
We know there's going to be ups and downs to a game. There's going to be adversities as we go, and we're always going to respond to those adversities. Will we always come out on top? Sometimes we will. Sometimes it'll go the other way, but we're going to respond the same way. We're going to have our eyes forward.
It's a process of everyday obsession, every day trying to be our best, trying to play better, trying to all do it together, not to blink an eye.
When you're in a tight game like this and someone either blinks or you go to overtime.
True winners, when adversity hits, they don't blink.
We just got to keep our eyes forward and execute next time.
You can build from anything, right? I think there was a great Kobe Bryant. He would always talk about, how his process after a game and how you could build on everything. And that's just, he was awesome. And you can build on everything.
Well, we were building on eyes and blinking and things of that nature. Bill Belichick was the guy that said, my memory's not that good. Now, do you believe that? I think he remembers every play from every game back to when he was 10 years old.
He just didn't want to talk about it.
No. Aaron Rodgers was the guy who said I threw a lot of wobblers, and that was pretty accurate.
A lot of wobblers.
And then I almost felt sorry for Lovie Smith.
He was as angry as I've ever seen him in my life.
Yeah, I don't know what the question was that was asked of him. But what do you expect me to say right now? I mean, come on, Lovie. That's, they pay you to tell us why.
He went back, and so he let that reporter get a couple of kind of disrespectful shots in, and it was like the third or fourth one, he fired back, and he was ready to roll.
Interesting. All right, well, those are the crazy things that coaches will say and players, and we appreciate a good job as always, J-Mo. We are busy, that is for sure. We've got Brett Norsworthy coming your way in just a minute on the Egg Bowl and a whole lot more. This portion of the show is brought to you by Conway. With new government regulations, the prices of the HVAC, because of adjustments, are going to go up. They are. Well, Conway's trying to help you beat that right now. Get in on a new deal while you can before the prices go up, and they're going to make it sweet by giving you a free furnace if you buy a new cooling system, and they'll throw in a free Nest thermostat. That's the newest technology where you can basically do anything with your house in any room and keep the temperature the way you want. You can do it from anywhere in the country. Or even outside of the country, I guess, through your cell phone. I mean, crazy stuff, but that's what we got. So take advantage. 384-3511. Call the premier heating cooling company in this area. That's Conway. You know that by now. Beat the new prices. Get your new air conditioning system with a free furnace and a free Nest thermostat. Just call 384-3511. To Forest City we go in a minute.
One piece of breaking news, Dave.
Breaking news.
During a meeting minutes ago, this according to ESPN and Adam Schefter, Jets players were informed that Zach Wilson is not starting Sunday's game against the Bears. Quarterback controversy in New York.
Wow. Could be good for the Bears.
Could be.
They need something good. That is absolutely. And by the way, I didn't mention it, but how about Japan today? Coming up with 2 goals in the last, 10, 12 minutes?
15 minutes, yeah.
To beat Germany 2-1? Germany. And I got a new respect for Germany because they did that little protest before the game with their hands over their mouth, protesting FIFA's lack of sensitivity about discrimination and things of that nature. So I'm all for Germany. But then Japan, wax them. It's already a crazy World Cup. That is for sure. But we'll talk American football because I don't think Stats likes this World Cup. He's next.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get holiday
ready at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on Covington Pike during our Black Friday sales event. You ready for a new ride but can't seem to find just what you're looking for? No worries. Stop by, pick your ride, and Gossett will get it ordered just for you. No hassles, no extra charges, no market adjustments. Pay no more than MSRP at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Plus, keep your money in your pocket during the holidays and get no payments for 90 days on select models. And 2022 Renegade Sport 4x4, we Gossett $399 a month or buy it for $29,990. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike. Or shop online 24/7, 365 at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
Renegade NPN 79312, MSRP 31980. Must finance through Chrysler Capital. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/22 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
It's been said before, but it bears repeating. Bell Tavern is exactly what it should be, a bar. Yes, you can get items from the menu at 117 Prime, which is some of the best food in town, but when you're in Bell Tavern, you know just where you are, a perfect, comfortable bar. There's ice-cold beer, signature cocktails, and sports on the TVs. Bell Tavern isn't a sports bar, it's a bar that happens to have sports on the TVs. Don't go to a chain to catch a game, don't go to a chain to catch up with old friends. Go where you really want to be, a bar. Go where you really want to be, Bell Tavern.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com. Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I know you're all gearing up for tomorrow, Thanksgiving. You still got a chance today to go to Dinstall's because you can get just those cool chocolate turkeys. They've got turtlettes, cashew crunch that they'll make with basketballs or football. So it kind of jazzes up your dessert table if that's what you want to do. Nothing beats Dinstall's, you know that for sure. I love the cashew crunch. I love all the gimmicky things. You know, the chocolate is the best. The fudge has won national awards. You can't beat it, and you got 5 locations. You've got where they make it, Pleasant View, my neighborhood, Laurelwood, out east, way out east, Germantown, Collierville, and the new store downtown, which is really a cool, quaint little store. You've got to sweeten up the holidays with Dinstall's. They've been doing that for over 120 years. I was wrong. We're not going to Forest City. We're going to Oxford. My man, Brett Norsworthy, he is there. Are we unfair with Lane Kiffin in sort of basically saying, what are you doing? Is that fair, unfair, right before the Egg Bowl? Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. No, I don't think it's unfair at all. It is a primary story. I mean, it cannot be ignored. It cannot be neglected. I don't know if it needs to be, and I don't think it has been asked over and over again, how many different ways can you say you got your eyes on Thursday and you're focused on Thursday? I've got a job. I mean, he has said about all you can say. There's almost no way to do this well. We know we're going to play the game on Thursday, and then at some point it feels like, as reported by many credible people, at some point during the weekend, not before, I think the conclusion of the Iron Bowl on Saturday, which will be about 6:30 Saturday night, Auburn will make its offer. Then Ole Miss will counter with its offer that they feel very, very good about and think it is worth accepting for him to stay. And he has talked about how many different contracts he has signed with Ole Miss. I don't think it's the fait accompli that it was in 1998 with Tommy Tuberville. And Dave, to give you a perspective, and I know you know, but I want the listeners to know, the money then was Tommy Tuberville leaving Ole Miss making $450,000 to go to Auburn to make $975,000.
Wow.
This is $10 million.
What a difference a few years makes, huh?
24 years makes quite a difference.
And don't you remember?
Radio salaries have gone up just like that through those years, haven't
right,
they?
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know what I really remember the most about that move? Forget the money.
Yeah.
It was Tuberville's wife at the time.
Yeah, hating the grocery stores in
who
Oxford.
Basically said, "What? They got more grocery stores in Auburn than they do in Oxford." Little did she know how Oxford was going to take off the next 25 years.
That's
but,
right.
That always made me chuckle. That particular line.
There were a lot of good stories around that. Tommy with the pine box, and the year before on these very airways when it was all but certain he was leaving for Arkansas, and he broke the story with George on these airways when he said, "I'm a rebel." Well, It was for one more year.
Right. I don't know what to make of this, honestly. It sure does seem, though, it's down to Kiffin and Freeze, and it's close. You've
Sure
done
feels
this
like that.
a long time, and I don't want to put you in jeopardy because you are a part of the Ole Miss football broadcasting team. But your gut feel, do you think Kiffin will be the Rebel coach next year?
I do, and I think then Auburn will move to Hugh Freeze, and Hugh Freeze, I think one thing that has really kind of maybe provided an advantage for him in this is that he wants it badly. And I've said many times, you know, somebody really, really, really wants a job and is saying why they want it so badly. That might be the person you should hire. I think he has sent. I know he has sent a daughter, maybe two. To Auburn. He wants that job. He wants back in SEC, and I think it's probably time for his return to the SEC, and he would make it tough. But it will be decided. I could very easily be wrong, and if I am wrong and Lane Kiffin takes it, for me personally, thank you so much for 3 great years in making Ole Miss relevant, getting us back up on our feet again after the long NCAA investigation. It just didn't work out for Matt Luke, which was a shame. I was sorry that it didn't, but thank you so much to Lane Kiffin. Great coach, and he's been outstanding to work for and to be around. So much fun. Anybody that gets him will be getting, I think, one coach at the top of his profession. And he has really grown at Ole Miss on and off the field, and I think there's even more growth in him either at Ole Miss or somewhere else in the future. I would not have one ugly word to say about him. Now, I said this yesterday on our show, and I still don't think I'd be mad at him over it. Think about in 1998, Dave, if you're an Ole Miss fan. It stung. It really hurt people. It was a kick in the shins to see Tommy Tuberville leave to a Western Division rival. But at least he didn't take Deuce McAllister with him.
Right.
Now with NIL and with the portal, you could see players go with a lot of different coaches that make changes.
No doubt. It's totally a different world out there. I don't know if there's that many more resources at Auburn than there is at Ole Miss, but there's certainly enough at Ole Miss in this day and age with the television money that
sure is
out there. And sooner or later, I think it's actually going to end up being sooner because all these kids now have, and they're allowed to, have agents for the NIL money. They're going to go, wait a second. You're making $70 million. We want a piece of that.
I don't blame
Wait a second. There's 100,000 people in these stadiums. We want a piece of that.
And they're here to see us.
Yeah. So I think sooner or later,
Dave, I think
universities.
it highlights somebody that we both like a lot, and we're friends with his son, with his sons, but particularly with his son, Brett Brewer. It highlights the great job Billy Brewer did, now almost 40 years ago when Coach Brewer was hired. But it was little old bitty broke Ole Miss then, and it's just not now.
No, because first of all, there's a lot of the people that went to that school have done well later in their lives, and they give to the school. The Grove, in my opinion, changed a lot for that university.
Dave, just a great point. The Grove and playing games in Oxford,
no doubt,
and getting out of the kind of the Jackson-Memphis thing. Great point.
Well, and the Grove brought people back, and so it attracted you to remember those memories and the good times, and you wanted to give to that. Oh, and by the way, we're all going to games, and we're bringing our kids. So the next generation wants to be a part of all of that. The Grove was critical to making that money, and now the SEC and the Big Ten, well, they're in a war to see which conference is going to make more money, and they're both going to end up making quite a bit of money. So it really does not matter.
And also tomorrow night, the fourth player ever honored with his jersey number, his number being retired, and that will be Ben Williams, who was historic in being the first black player ever at Ole Miss and a great, great player, a great pro with the Buffalo Bills. He will join Archie Manning, Chucky Mullins, Eli Manning, and will be the fourth to have his number retired. And the growth and where Ole Miss, where it is today, it's never been in better shape. Never. And if they have to go looking for a new coach, they'll get one. Two of the last three Ole Miss football coaches have been in the middle of the college football playoff New Year's Six bowls. Hugh Freeze with going to a Peach Bowl against TCU. Hugh Freeze going to a Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma State. Lane Kiffin last year in the Sugar Bowl against Baylor. And three of the last four Ole Miss coaches have gone to destination bowls, with Houston Nutt going to back-to-back Cotton Bowls. Only Matt Luke didn't, and Matt was severely hamstrung.
Well, Matt was hamstrung because of what happened with Hugh Freeze. And also there was, I think, in a good context, I admire Ole Miss for this to a certain extent. They felt a little loyalty to Luke for what he had done in his long tenure with the school. So you give him the benefit of the doubt, and then when they realized, okay, we got to do something different, they were able to hire Lane Kiffin. I find this interesting, and I'm telling you, I think Lane Kiffin's great. I hope for Ole Miss's sake he does stay. I really do, because I think he can bring that program to great heights, to the
especially with the playoff expansion.
Yes, to the ultimate height. But it's pretty darn good that a coach who's just lost 3 out of 4 is going to get $10 million a year to stay. That's never going to happen or never has happened before.
Well,
Let me
Dave,
put it that way.
Gabe and I like to laugh. The W that flies over Wrigley Field after the Cubs win, the W flies permanently at Ridgeway and Poplar.
Yeah. Yeah. It does.
And it is his time of year. You're right. Ole Miss played horribly last week, and Arkansas played really well. And I did with post-game with Coach Kiffin, and he did as well, and the players did. Give credit to Arkansas. Great planning. Came out and just really walloped Ole Miss right in the kazoo. I mean, it just put it on 42-6 early in the fourth quarter. There are 15-point deficits that you feel like you may have should have won. That was a 15-point deficit that felt like 75.
Yeah, well, what was 31-6 at the half, right? So you almost felt like it was over at the break. And I give Sam Pittman a lot of credit in getting his guys up, and he got his quarterback back.
Had to go for it.
Yeah, and hell, they were playing kind of for postseason.
For sure, because they got to go to Columbia Friday. Right. They have not defeated Mizzou in Columbia since since Mizzou's joined the SEC.
So that gets us to the Egg Bowl. Last thing with our friend Brett Norsworthy, and you can listen to him and Gabe again today, 3 to 6. You know, it's called Sports Time. I've been on that show before. This game, I love Mike Leach, by the way. I mean, what state's got those two guys? Kiffin and Leach.
I like Mike Leach at Texas Tech, Washington State, and I like him here.
Yeah, but it was interesting because he's not done well with Texas at Texas Tech. That's their big rivalry. Of course, Texas has rivalries with everybody. And then at Washington State, he could not beat. He was terrible against Washington.
He was in the Apple Cup.
And I think he was trying to downplay all these things. And then he's not done very well at all here in the Egg
Well, it can
Bowl.
change tomorrow. If he wins that one tomorrow, then it really changes things. 13 straight years from Mississippi State in a bowl game. I think that's spectacular, and that's been over a couple of different coaches. And for Mike Leach, he's 0-2 in Egg Bowls. If he drops to 0-3, Ole Miss has not won 3 straight Egg Bowls since 02, 03, 04.
Wow.
So that would make 3 straight tomorrow night for Ole Miss in the battle for the Golden Egg. It would make him 0-3. And Brian Haydad, that co-hosts with Richard Cross and Michael Borky on Sports Talk Mississippi, and is a state loyalist, up front, he'll tell you that. But he has said that if Leach drops this game, it officially puts him on the clock for 2023.
Wow. Hard one for you.
Okay.
Who's the better quarterback? Rodgers, Dart?
Right now, statistically and in SEC experience, I would say Will Rogers. Give me a year from now and ask me that again. Jackson Dart's improved steadily as the year's gone along. One of the biggest things about Jackson Dart and wearing that uniform number 2 is he's not Matt Corral. Not yet. Remember Matt's first year under the Lane Kiffin system? Let's see a year from now. But right now, Will Rogers, that number 2 at Mississippi State, is prolific quarterback.
Yeah. All right, I said that was the last thing. I lied. I got to ask you one more thing. How much did you smile when you saw the news yesterday that Albert Pujols was named National League Comeback Player of the Year?
Well, you say hello, I say goodbye. He comes back, and then he's gone. It was a great year, just magical in St. Louis. Dave, you know, I put my Christmas tree up, and it's a sports-themed tree, and it's really 2 trees. It's a big one and a little one, but they're sports-themed. It's not a religious-themed tree, so I don't want anybody getting mad at me. I know what the holiday really means, all that good stuff. But on one tree, I have Albert Pujols topping the tree, and then on my Ole Miss only tree, I have Eli Manning topping it.
Really? Not Archie? Archie's been dethroned?
Well, 2 Super Bowls and 2 MVPs. That's pretty good.
Oh, my gosh.
You know who can handle that better than anybody's Archie.
No
He would
doubt.
say you got it right.
I know he would say it because that is his son. That's great. Well, listen, we're not talking Christmas yet. We're talking Thanksgiving.
First things first.
I hope it's a great one for you.
Thank you all too, Dave.
And you are you going to be? I guess you're not leaving Oxford. Normally, you used to go to Old Waverly and Mossy Oak.
Well, on Friday morning, I'm getting up and leaving early, headed to Columbus for Michigan, Ohio State on Saturday.
You're kidding?
Yep.
You're going to the game?
I sure am. Big bucket list checkoff. And
wow!
Arguably the biggest Michigan Ohio State game ever.
Have you ever
been? I can't wait.
Have you ever been in the Horseshoe?
I have not. I mean, I've never seen Ohio State or Michigan in person. Never been to Columbus. Never been to the Horseshoe. Going to Columbus Blue Jackets, Boston Bruins on Friday night.
Wow!
What's the bigger event? I mean, that's the question there.
It's the Horseshoe. On the banks of Old Intangi, as
So,
Keith Jackson would say.
I will tell you, I have been to the Horseshoe, but I was not there to see a game. It was just open. I'm trying to remember. I was with Greg Gaston, too, so I don't remember.
Y'all were at the NCAA tournament. Tigers were up
That's
there.
what it was. It was the NCAA tournament.
I remember
We drove
that.
by, and we walked into the Horseshoe, and I will tell you, it is cool.
Oh,
I've done games at Michigan, and I've never seen a game there. But I would tell you, I think the Horseshoe is actually cooler than Michigan, which is
the idea of being there.
pretty
I know
good.
I know it no longer exists, but the idea of being in that stadium where Jesse Owens ran track, and where Jack Nicklaus once dotted the I, and I'm going to the Jack Nicklaus Museum on Friday afternoon there in Columbus. But Dave, I'm not in fact, I can guarantee every emotion when they dot that I Saturday at Ohio Stadium. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Should be a heck of a game. I'm guessing Ohio State's going to win that game, but I think Michigan is going to give them a battle. Yeah, I do. I agree with that. Hey,
Love Harbaugh.
Safe travels. We'll talk next week.
Thank you.
That is our man. That is Brett Norsworthy, and again, you can listen to him every day, 3 to 6 with Gabe on Sports Time. This portion of the show is brought to you by AmeriCare in the 3 locations here. The one, this is for senior living. If you've got a loved one in your house that you're worried about, living alone, not good, senior assisted living and memory care, if they are affected at all by dementia. And there's 3 locations in Memphis: South Breeze, which is right on Hacks Cross; Collierville, it's on Schilling Bend Commons, it's called Schilling Gardens; and then in Olive Branch, it's Olive Grove Terrace on Goodman Road. And right now there are some special move-in opportunities for you if you decide that is the place you want to go. I've actually found a friend that has a parent that is at South Breeze in Memphis, and he was telling me his mother is there, and she's way up there in years, how great they are, how caring they are. And I got to tell you, they have a little different philosophy. It's about wellness. It's about making an assisted living place feel like home, because there's more to aging right and healthy than just eating correctly and exercising. It's about making your assisted living place feel like home. These are smaller, more intimate communities, easier to make friends. They got great activities. They even design programs just for you, like if you have bad balance issues, they do these things to help reduce the risk of falling. Maintain your health, set a great course for aging well, and be happier. And all you got to do is consider my friends at AmeriCare. We take a break. When we come back, my friend Jarvis Greer, he is next.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, I want to talk about our seasoning and sauce today. Our sauce is a great blend of sweet, mustard, and vinegar. It's good on so many items other than barbecue. It's good on pizza. People use it in lieu of ketchup. But our seasoning is the original dry rub, created by my father using a mixture of Greek and Cajun spices. People think our sauce and seasoning are good just during the grilling season. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's good year-round. Our seasoning is good on fish, chicken, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, French fries. People even put a dash in a Bloody Mary. To get a complete list of all of our recipes using our products, go to hogsfly.com, click recipes, and you'll see 50 wonderful items and dishes. And Brett, our sauce and seasoning is available at most grocery stores, and if they don't have it, please remind your grocer to stock it. And our slaw is also available at most Kroger stores.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. Depending on how long you've been around, you've likely known my name for 30 years. Perhaps for my 20 years as the morning show on Kix 106 as the Young and Elder Show, or my 15 years at Brian Elder Roofing. So obviously, my reputation means everything to me. One terrible customer experience could tarnish a third of a century of goodwill. My reputation for quality and strong relationships is our main focus. We're the highest certification, a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning. If you have a business or a commercial building, we're the highest certification for warranties with GAF and Mulehide products. We don't come at you in sales mode. If you got a problem, sometimes the solution is just to fix the problem. Call me right now. I'll come out and see you today. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
More breaking news this morning besides Zach Wilson out as the quarterback of the Jets against the Bears. This is crazy. Is this really true, J-Mo? Give it to me.
I can't verify it anywhere else, but this is from Richard G. West, he says he's the #1 breaking news reporter in South Knoxville. He says that Vanderbilt is offering students, if they go to the game against Tennessee on Saturday, they will take $10,000 off of their tuition. Vanderbilt trying to win a 6th win.
$10,000 off tuition?
Can't imagine.
If I was a parent, I'd be going, you're going to that game. Of course, it only gets it down to $46,000, but still, that's a savings. Jarvis Greer, would you be sending your kid to that game?
See, I'm going myself, and they're going to give me $10,000. Wow, no, that's a heck of an offer. Of course, they got, what is their endowment at Vanderbilt? $1 billion?
It's $1 billion, yeah. I think it's $1.6 billion. We did this before. I think it's $1.6 billion. Isn't that what it is?
That's right.
It is, right?
It's right.
$1.6 billion. Well, they got the money to do that.
$1.6 billion. They're charging $56,000 a student.
$10.9 billion.
Oh, I'm sorry. We really should. $10.9 billion, and they can't afford air conditioning in their gym. That's up to somehow. I'd like to figure that part out.
Yeah, really.
Do you think Tennessee? Vandy is going to be a good game. You realize that if Vandy wins the game, they're bowl eligible. That would be
Congratulations
crazy.
to the Commodores. That would be crazy.
You think they have a chance with Hooker out?
I think they have the way they've been playing lately, they got a chance. And the way Tennessee played in that last game, yeah, they got a chance. I don't know what's up with Tennessee. Somebody's mad at something because you don't lose just one player, Jeremy Banks, and then play like that defensively. Somebody's not getting some NIL money they were promised or something. So that's just crazy. That's just too crazy. You don't lay down like that against a team that really hasn't done that much. South Carolina's not bad, but they're not that good. And they haven't scored 66 points all year on anybody. So, or even anything close to that. So something else is going on with that. That's not just, they just got, I'm thinking some Tennessee players laid down on that one.
All right, let's move to the Tigers, and they got to play SMU. That their guys are going to be getting. I think it's $30,000, 46,000. No, it's 46 grand each player minimum. That's the starting salary at SMU. But I don't know if they get that till next year. Something's wrong with that team too. The way they played against Tulane the other day, they fell behind just like Memphis did with turnovers in the first half, but then they didn't come back the way the Tigers did. Both teams are really playing for a better bowl, I think.
That is correct.
What do you think will happen?
Oh, exactly. That is exactly what it is, and it's who wants it most in this game. We've seen the tsunami, the green wave, what they can do when they're on, and the Tigers just weren't ready at the beginning of the game, but they came back, and they were shell-shocked at the start of that game. I can't really say that they weren't ready. They just were shell-shocked. Tulane hit them hard and went out 35-0, but Memphis came back and made it a game and had a chance at the end, to really, make it interesting there. Got picked off in the end zone there in the last, play of the game. But it's one of those things where, okay, you know what's in front of you. You're going to have both of you are going to the postseason. It's who wants to either go to Florida in the sunshine or who wants to go to Birmingham. Now, Birmingham is much better.
No. I think if you win this game, you got a chance of going to Fenway to play in the cold, but to play in Fenway Park against the ACC.
Well, that's also on the table. And I think I saw a couple of those prognostications that said it would be against Syracuse at Fenway. And I think that's a game I'd look forward to that. There's a chance that you can win that game. And for Memphis, and you could, finish on a 4-game winning streak and be 8-5 at the end of the year, which is, I predicted that they'd win 8 to 10. It may be a different way to get there, but if you get there, you got there. So that would be something to go up there and play in that. It might be really cold, but it'll be, I think that's where Memphis was ticketed to go last year, and but COVID knocked it out.
Hey, we got coats.
So they ended up going to Hawaii.
We got sweaters. We got this high-tech T-shirt stuff. We can handle it. All right, so I'm going to throw these out to you.
Okay.
Fenway in Boston, and that old ballpark to take on Syracuse or somebody from the ACC. Armed Forces, which would be against CUSA in Fort Worth. Independence Bowl in Shreveport, some people have mentioned that, and Army's already in that game. The Military Bowl is in Fort Worth. That's against an ACC team. Birmingham, which could even be Southern Miss. Boca, I don't know who they'd play there. The Gasparillas in St. Pete. Frisco is a possibility. And then there's
Kansas. That could be Kansas,
that could
right?
be Kansas. And then there's the First Responder Bowl, which is, I think, in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, which is kind of fun. That would be another
the
ACC
original
school.
Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, the original
The real
Cotton.
Cotton.
Right. In the fairgrounds. Which one would you want to go to? Rank your top 3 out of that.
My top 3? Well, Fenway, because it's new and it'll be neat, but I don't know if I would want to put that one number 1 because it's going to be so cold, and I don't know how many Tiger fans could actually make the trip there. Anyone like Kansas having a chance to play against Kansas, I think that would be really, really good. And that bowl's not that far. Is that the one? Is that the Armed Forces?
That's
bowl?
the one. I think that's the one in Fort Worth.
The one in Fort Worth?
Oh,
yeah.
no,
That's,
maybe
that's the trip you can make.
No,
or is it Frisco? Or is that Frisco?
Frisco.
Yeah, that's Dallas. That's the
Dallas.
Metroplex.
Right.
That's not a bad drive.
That's
for Tiger fans
That's
to
playing
go.
in the soccer stadium. They play in their MLS stadium.
Yeah, it's a really nice stadium. It's a great field. We've been down there. We've seen it, and and it's the Metroplex. It's one you could get to. So I would like that. I don't know about Shreveport. I mean, I think they have been the Independence Bowl. They have been to Tiger practices for the past 4 weeks. So they want Memphis. It looks like because they know 5 hours to get down to Shreveport.
Yeah, they've scouted Memphis 2 or 3 times, so they want Memphis, no doubt.
Yeah,
I guess if I were picking it, I'd go Fenway just because I would selfishly want to do a football a ball game in famous Fenway Stadium. So I like that, and I like the fact that you'd play an ACC school. Second, gosh, I don't mind Independence Bowl, and I'll tell you why. I haven't been there in years. It's drivable, and you would play Army. We've already beaten Navy. If we beat Army, do we get the Commander's Cup?
I don't know. Air Force, I think, has already surrounded that deal. But good thing you're not playing Navy again because Navy's gotten hot here lately.
And then it's a toss between for me Boca because the weather's so good and they have that parade. That was so much fun. We went to Boca the last time.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, and you get to go be on the water. I mean, that stadium's a mile from the beach.
Yeah, I know.
And who's the opponent? Nobody knows who the opponent will be in that.
No, I don't know. But then the other one is Birmingham because you could play, I think, Southern Miss. Some people have prognosticated you'd play your old foe. That would be kind of fun. But also, I hated Legion Field.
And Legion Field's gone.
Right.
Legion Field is gone. It's a new stadium there, and everybody says that place is nice.
So, and Memphis is going to be playing in that stadium when they play UAB from here on out. So that would be our first chance to see that stadium. I'd be okay with that, too.
You'd be okay with that? It's just, I mean, I don't want to play a team that we're going to play in conference. You know what I mean? That's the only thing about that to me. The trip would be fine. Birmingham's a nice place to go. There's lots of good places to eat. It was just that Legion Field was so rickety and awful and depressing. That's the only thing that was really bad about that.
It was awful. And then you played an SEC school and got killed. Well, Memphis played
they played
an
there
AC
again.
school.
They played Wake,
yeah.
And then went down to the last second, and we missed the last second field goal. It would have sent it to overtime.
Yeah, that was a good game. The Wake game was a good game. The Auburn game was not. But
no, but that was the game that Fuente had already left, and Paxton Lynch had packed it in basically because he knew he was going pro after that game.
Yeah.
And Memphis did not look like Memphis at all against an Auburn team that was coached by Gus Malzahn.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and Emily
too,
and all the kids and the triplets and everybody else, and I'll see you in Dallas.
Oh, yeah, they all got tubes in their ears now. So
wow.
I'm trying to get ahead of that business. And so, everybody out there have a happy Thanksgiving. We're all very blessed to be here.
That is Jarvis Kerr. How many days left before you retire?
39.
39 days.
38, rather.
38 days to catch Jarvis on the afternoons because he's already retired from the evenings.
That's correct.
There you go. All right, buddy.
Love and life.
See you on the airplane.
Tough one for the Grizz last night, but I think they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
If Ja hits free throws,
but nobody hit free
You're
throws.
going
They
to OT. Oh, nobody. They
were
shot
19 to 31 in that game. You're not going to win.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Oh, well. All righty.
Thank you,
Dave, have a
Jarvis.
good one.
Happy Thanksgiving to all. This final portion of the show has been brought to you by Old Dominic. Yes, wintertime now. It's time to start to think about whiskey. And this is made in your hometown, downtown. It is really a cool place. Right in the heart of downtown, Old Dominic offers full distillery tours. I've taken it. Curated tastings, craft cocktails. It's really cool. They got this very neat bar you can go to beyond the tour. And now I got to tell you, their master distiller, Alex Castle, she has finally given the go-ahead. There's 2 new whiskeys that are out there. One's called Bond, which is really like their bourbon. The other's a tasting, sipping whiskey. Fantastic stuff. It's in all of the local spirit shops now. You will love it. Old Dominic. Write that down. Go local. As good a whiskey as you can find anywhere. Old Dominic. We are off tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving. We might be back Friday, but if Ole Miss beats Stanford, we'll see you on Monday. Any way you look at it, peaceful, healthy, happy Thanksgiving.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Wolo here.